focusing on? Great. Every Saturday for the last year, I have been telling a story, a personal story, online. And I saw no reason to stop that today. So in my last minutes as Great Lakes Leatherboy, I am going to tell my last story as Great Lakes Leatherboy. Today's Saturday Storytime is called Promise. 15 years ago, my first leather relationship ended. Badly. I left the community, got involved with somebody I had a lot of things in common with. Not kinky things, but I didn't think that would matter. 5 years ago, it turned out that mattered. I was cleaning and I found a leather ball strap. It was the first piece of leather I had ever bought and the last piece I had left. I started wearing it when I masturbate. I had some really good fantasies. And as that relationship fell apart, I used those fantasies to avoid the problem. Until one afternoon. I was making origami bow ties out of dollar bills for a game we were going to be playing that night. For no other reason than I am an entire dork and I had nothing better to do and I felt like, what the hell? And my ex walked in the room and said, "You just have to be you, don't you?"
Yeah!
I realized two things in that moment. One, in 10 fairly happy years together, he had never once loved me for who I was. And two, I wasn't really being who I was anyway, so what did it matter? It took a long time for me to figure out what to do with it. I cried a lot, mostly over my lunch hours. I'd go on the internet and I would look at apartments and porn. And I would go to sleep every night as close to the edge of the bed as I possibly could so that I didn't have to be near him. It was just 3 years ago that relationship ended. Also badly. And I made myself a promise. I promised to be myself. All the time, good and bad. If people didn't like it, screw them. At least I was being me. In return, I try to embrace others for who they are. Because when it comes right down to it, whatever kinky ass behind the scenes shit you got going on that's helping you get through the day-to-day of life, go for it. Act out all the Captain Kirk, Captain America, Captain Crunch erotica you can handle. As long as you aren't involving someone without their consent, I am okay with it. As a philosophy, being true to myself and accepting others for who they are has worked out pretty well for me. The best part about it is when I travel, I always meet people that I recognize myself in. Someone who's ashamed to talk about the things they've hidden away for so long, or scared to try out a new kink for the first time, or feeling awkward wearing a collar in public. And when I meet those people, I give them a big hug. I let them know that not that long ago, I was scared and ashamed. I tell them that scared still happens. Shame, not so much. I let them know that I have always been, and I will always be, incredibly awkward. I hope that by making these connections, I show people that it's not how long you've been here, it's what you have to offer now that you are. Every one of us has promise. And whether you're a beginner or a player or someone in between that I have spent time with along the way, I want to thank you for helping me live up to mine. And thanks for listening.
Great Lakes Leather Show 2015. So